Big, bold, blue. Some might even say beautiful, though I'd argue the back mudguard sticks too far up into the air. But we don't care about any of that. What exactly is this mysterious marine coloured machine?
This is the latest YZ450FX. It's Yamaha's premier class cross-country racing machine, and if I could afford to buy one, I would. Here's why.
This bike was provided by a viewer. Once we'd finished filming with it, it was fitted with brand new tyres, chain and sprockets before being handed back to its owner. If you have a bike that you'd like to see reviewed, please get in touch via any of my social medias. Now, on with the show.
See, there are three main disciplines of dirt bike racing: motocross, cross-country and enduro. Right now we're in the bike's element, cross-country, high-speed natural terrain racing, and as is to be expected, it's well equipped to deal with it. The specially tuned suspension holds up under heat and load, but is also plush enough to deal with the little things like rocks and tree roots. And when you get it out into the open, it's got a wide ratio gearbox, which means it's capable of top speeds that I'm too scared to go near.
There are, of course, some problems though. Firstly, with the electric start. You see, it works well most of the time, but not always. And that not always can prove to be a pretty monumental problem in a cross-country race, which is of course a dead engine start. Some of the time, the shotgun will fire, and this will happen. And other times, I'm now in dead last.
Redeemingly, it is well equipped. For example, it comes as standard with a big, meaty bash guard to protect the engine from rocks and the likes thereof. And it also has the most discreet long-range fuel tank I've ever seen. To look at the bike, you can't even tell it's there, and better yet, it has no effect on width or balance whatsoever. But it does hold a litre less fuel than its red and orange rivals, so give and take.
Outside of the moody electric start, this really is a stellar cross-country machine. Almost faultless. And to be honest, that's as it should be. It was designed and built for the job. Where it gets particularly interesting, however, is when you take it outside of its comfort zone.
Off topic, that's some pretty impressive tailgate strength. Nelson Bay's Motor Group hooked us up with this new Nissan Navara to put through its paces as a moto ute, and it didn't disappoint. If you want to learn more about it, head to nnbaysmotorgroup.co.nz and you can find all the information you need. Now though, back to the Yamaha.
The YZ450FX is based upon the foundation of its purebred, harder, faster, lighter and more aggressive motocross brother, the YZ450F. And in all honesty, it hasn't been dumped down from it that much. Yeah, the suspension and chassis have been softened up and given a bit more flex, the engine's been smoothed out, but at the end of the day, it'll still shrug off a big hit, and it actually puts out more peak horsepower than the motocrosser.
All of this means that though it is a cross-country bike, you can take it to a motocross track and, well, it'll laugh at it. As you can clearly see, no amount of big jumps or boomed corners will phase it. In fact, it surprised even me around here. I was expecting to have to explain at this point that while it can do motocross, the suspension's a little on the soft side and the motor doesn't quite hit hard enough, etc., but that just wasn't the case. All day long it ate hard landings and never bottomed out once, and the smooth power delivery was actually a blessing in disguise. Any more bark would have been impossible to make bite on this dry and dusty surface.
If I were at a loamy track today though, where I needed that snap, this would definitely be too smooth. But it's a non-issue because all new Yamaha 4-strokes cast a Wi-Fi signal that you can just connect your phone up to, and through their app, tune the engine to exactly how you want it to be. Look, there's even a preset map in here called MX Power Feeling. That'd do the trick, but I'm not going to select that because I don't fancy having my arms ripped out of their sockets.
There are of course some problems with the bike though, but they're not very major.
About the only issue I've been able to find with it in this discipline is that the bloody side stand keeps catching on the back of my boot and coming down. The previous iteration of Yamaha side stands did this as well. Come on guys, KTM solved this problem 20 years ago while the rubber bands were growing out loud.
Still, compared with the issues I was expecting to encounter with it around here, that's pretty minor. Impressive stuff.
So it's a great cross-country bike, naturally, and there can be no two ways about it. It's a great motocross bike as well. But the KTM 450XF and the CRF 450RX are subjectively just as capable in these areas. Where it really blows them out of the water though, is off the beaten track. Enduro.
The way it blows them out of the water here is with its engine and gearbox. You'll notice there's a little blue light to the left of my hand right here. That means I've got the bike in slippery terrain mode, which retards the ignition timing and smooths out the throttle response, basically dumbing everything down to the benefit of traction. Essentially, what this button does is turns it into an enduro bike.
And to complement this, that same gearbox that will do 160 kilometers per hour also has an extremely short first gear, which is amplified by this engine's unlikely ability not to stall at low RPMs. It just chugs and chugs until the bitter end before it finally stalls out.
This is another enduro bike trait, and extremely uncommon in a big bore high compression 4-stroke like this one. It's these reasons and more that put it a rung above its competitors in this discipline. The Honda and KTM couldn't live with it here. They'd be like bulls in a china shop, whereas this thing's as nimble and precise as a ballerina. It's an incredible machine.
But in my opinion, the thing shines brightest when you pack up and go someplace that the rain isn't. Everybody's got their own little corner of the world that they call dirt bike paradise. Well, this place, this is mine. And it has everything. Cross country, motocross, enduro. It takes a real Swiss Army knife to tame this place. But the FX proved equal to every challenge. It was here that the bike really blew my mind. I now believe with an utter certainty that it could be raced right up to a professional level in cross country, motocross and enduro right out of the box. And about no other machine would I stake that claim. The Yamaha YZ450FX is the ultimate do-anything dirt bike.
there.
Didn't think so.
Not good.